Welcome to the Ontario SPCA Provincial Education and Animal Centre. Join us as we take a look around and go through the journey that animals take when they come into our care. For animals who come into our care, their journey begins here, in the intake examination room. This is where health and continuing behavior assessments are performed on all new incoming animals. As part of our infection prevention plan, all new animals come through a designated entrance to keep them separated from the other animals in our care. Here at the Provincial Education and Animal Centre, we see a variety of different types of animals. On average, this centre performs intake examinations on over 780 cats and kittens, over 400 dogs and puppies, over 190 small animals, and over 50 birds each year. Each animal is examined and given their own care plan. These animals represent a mixture of roaming animals that arrive through animal control services, transport missions from the north where there is an overpopulation of animals, transfers from other centres, and rehoming appointments. Rehoming appointments take place in a virtual setting where we can still get vital information from the family in a safe manner. When people come to us for assistance, regardless of the reason, it's important that they feel supported during this process. The next step in a new animal's journey with us is an intake examination. We are currently in the cat examination room. In order to reduce stress for our cats, the dogs are kept in their own wing and have their own examination room, which we will see a little bit later. The exam itself is a nose-to-tail examination, looking for anything unusual that may impact the animal's health. Many incoming animals do not have a medical history, and some may have never seen a veterinarian before. This intake examination is the first step in creating that very important medical history. Infectious disease control is a high priority when initially examining an animal. As a part of the initial examination, trained staff administer vaccines, internal and external parasite control, and conduct a Woods lamp exam to check for signs of ringworm. Finally, the trained staff member will check for a microchip. This is especially important for stray animals that come in. We always encourage animal families to microchip their furry friends so that we can reunite them should they ever become lost. A daily monitoring chart is also assigned to each animal to track their behavior, eating and elimination habits, their weight, and the enrichment they are receiving. At this point, we also begin the animal's individual care plan, which is overseen by a registered veterinary technician. Care plans outline what the animal needs while it remains in our care. This could include any necessary medical treatments, if and when the animal will be spayed or neutered, if they are going to be placed up for adoption, the results of their Meet Your Match assessment that help us match them with an adopter, and ultimately when they will be ready to move out into the adoption center to find a family. All of this is done with a considerate, fear-free approach to animal handling. We understand that this environment can be very stressful for animals, so a stress-free approach to animal handling is of the utmost importance. The next stop on our tour is our cat observation rooms. These rooms are kept separate from the general population as another level of infectious disease prevention. And this is where the cat completes their observation period. Each space has been set up with the cat's comfort in mind. Each cat has a cat cabin that will move with them from intake to adoption and into their new home. This will become a familiar item to the cats that will help reduce stress while they are with us and help them to settle into their new home. It can also act as a hiding place when the cat wants to hide away. Stress reduction is one of the most important pieces of care for all animals here in the center. Therefore, the cat wing is very quiet, with only soft classical music or bird sounds playing for enrichment. Enrichment is another important element of an animal's ongoing health. Their mental health is as important as their physical health. Cleaning protocols have also been designed with stress reduction in mind. Each observation room is labeled with the days of the week. There's a Monday to Friday room, a Saturday to Sunday room, and a fearful cat assessment room. The two observation rooms that have the days of the week also have corresponding rooms that are identical in the adoption staging hallway. And new cats are only added to the observation rooms on those days of the week. For example, if an animal comes in on a Friday, they would go into the Monday to Friday room. If they come in on a Saturday, they would go into the Saturday to Sunday room. This process helps us identify health concerns and also reduces the spread of diseases that the animal may have brought in with them. After a short observation period, the cats will then move into either the corresponding adoption staging space or the adoption center. The adoption staging rooms are where cats will wait for a short period of time for surgery, foster care, behavioral assessment, or any other needs that must be met prior to adoption. Once the cats have moved out of the observation room, it is fully cleaned and disinfected. Personal protective equipment and infectious disease protocols ensure the next group of cats are moving into a disinfected, clean space. Free-roaming cats are sometimes brought into our animal centers through local animal control services. These cats are sometimes considered unsocialized and therefore put into our working cat program. After being spayed or neutered, microchipped, vaccinated, and receiving internal and external parasite control, they are adopted into working homes. Those homes can be barns, warehouses, or even breweries. They help control vermin in exchange for food, shelter, and any regular veterinary care. Any cats presenting with signs of illness would be moved into our feline isolation ward, away from the rest of the population, in a nice quiet place to recover. Upper respiratory tract infection is the most common illness found in shelter environments, and it's often found at the time of intake. We continue with our spot cleaning method with these cats to reduce stress, unless we're managing a health concern that causes us to change our standard protocols. All treatment plans for these special medical cases are created by local veterinarians we work with. From there, our registered veterinary technicians oversee their treatment plan. As a charity, our ability to assist these sick and injured animals relies on the generosity of our donors. Without them, we would not be able to assist these animals in their time of need. Our small animals, often rabbits and guinea pigs, also have their own ward to help reduce stress during their time in our care. Just like our cats and dogs, these little furry friends also have a plan in place to help them move from observation to adoption in a timely manner. Enrichment is just as important for these little guys too, so we have lots of ways to keep them mentally and physically stimulated so that they are happy and healthy. At any given time, this center can house upwards of 100 cats and kittens, 30 dogs, and 15 to 20 small animals. We are always careful to book rehoming appointments based on our capacity of care to ensure that all animals coming in will receive the best care possible. This is where we store all of the food for the animals in our care. Thanks to our friends at Royal Canin, they are our official feeding partner and provide nutritious meals to all of the animal centers across the province. Their generosity means that cats and dogs in our care have healthy diets each and every day. The dog wing is set up as a mirror image of the cat wing, but it's just a little larger. This hallway has its own intake examination room, an observation wing, and an adoption staging wing. Each wing has 2 and 3 pods respectively, and each pod can hold 4 to 5 kennels. The dog wing also has an isolation ward that is often used as a quiet space for nervous dogs to help reduce their stress. It can also be used as a nursery for very young puppies. As they have delicate immune systems, this keeps them away from the general population. Just like in our cat wing, we do everything we can to reduce stress for the dogs in our care. We provide them with a comfortable bed, enrichment, and a fear-free approach to their daily activities. We also have a double run ward where kennels have an adjoining second run. This area is used to house new dogs who may be brought in overnight by animal control services and very nervous dogs who may have behavioral issues and may not be ready for one-on-one handling. Any dog in need of behavior modification has a customized plan that's created by an animal behavior coordinator and then implemented for staff to carry out. To ensure easy access to this information for all members of the team, the behavior board will be set up with the animal's behavioral concern, things to work on with them, and things to avoid. A more detailed report is also available to the staff and kept on a clipboard near the board. Behind our animal center, at the west end of our site area, there are a set of outdoor dog runs. which were upgraded in 2018 thanks to a generous donation by the W. Garfield Weston Foundation. Seeing the impact of that project, the individual from the Weston Foundation responsible for the gift stepped forward in 2020 to make a personal gift to renovate our second bank of dog runs on the south side of the center. Thanks to these gifts, the dogs at the Provincial Education and Animal Center are now in a safer, cleaner, more secure, and more relaxing environment. This leads us back to the adoption center. When we intake animals, our goal is to give them the care needed to have them move up to the adoption center as soon as they are ready. Animal centers can be stressful and scary for animals, even with all the extra care and stress reduction techniques we have in place. The most fear-free thing we can do for them is adopt them out in as short a time as reasonable. The animals who come to the adoption center are ready for their new home and have been vaccinated, microchipped, and they have received their internal and external parasite control, are spayed or neutered, and have received their Meet Your Match assessment. Potential adopters take part in the science-based Meet Your Match program, which matches their personality and their lifestyle with the animals awaiting adoption. They are then assigned to the animals based on their personality. For example, families looking for a sociable dog who loves to play will be matched with an outgoing dog rather than one who prefers solitude or the quiet affection of a single person. Once the animals have come to the adoption center, this space is again divided up by species to help reduce stress and ensure they are as comfortable as possible as they await adoption. Thanks for joining our tour of the Ontario SPCA Provincial Education and Animal Center. For more information, visit our website, ontariospca.ca.